Hello everybody, I'm Peter the Book Lover, and in these videos I'm counting down my top 100 favorite books. And this is 50 to 41, and I've got some great books here. Let's talk about them. Hello everybody, I am Peter the Book Lover, and I like to read a lot of books, and I've compiled my list of my top 100 favorite books. And I've got some great books that I'm going to talk about in this video. But before I get into the books, I want to thank my audience for being here. You're really wonderful for giving me your time. I appreciate every single viewer of my channel. Thank you for coming by. Okay, let's start off with number 50. Now, number 50 is a great book. This is from 1877 by Anna Sewell. And this is the book called Black Beauty. And this is a story about a horse. The whole story is set on the angle from a horse. So you pretty much live in the horse's, from the horse's eyes. So you get to experience things from the horse's angle. Anne Sewell wrote an amazing book because this really made a lot of people open their eyes on how we treat horses and other animals. It's a beautiful book, and it's very entertaining. Out of all the books I've read, this is one of the books that really hit me in the gut pretty hard, man. I was pretty upset after I read a chapter in this book. It's pretty amazing. And another thing that really hit me after reading this book is about the author. When I read about the author, it turns out that this woman spent a long time writing this book. This woman was handicapped when she wrote this book, and she was deteriorating. And this is the only book she wrote. And she wrote this, and then she died a little bit later. So she didn't get to see the success of this book. But this is an amazing book, and it's definitely worth your time. Although, I'm going to tell you, there's a chapter in this book that is very, very sad. Really, really devastating. Okay, number 49 is a book that was written in 1859. This is by the famous author Charles Dickens, and this is A Tale of Two Cities. And what this book is about is the French Revolution, and this book is a book that contains a lot of head rolling. There's a lot of people that die in the guillotine in this book, and people of all ages die in the guillotine. And it's a pretty it's a book that's kind of hard to understand at the beginning of the book, but as this book goes on, this book gets to be fantastic, and I really enjoyed this book. A Tale of Two Cities is an amazing book, and it's pretty brutal, though, because there's a lot of people that die on the guillotine in this book. But I highly recommend it. This is a fantastic book, and that is number 49, A Tale of the Two Cities. Okay, the next book that I am going to recommend is number 48, and this is from 1831. This was written by Victor Hugo, and this is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. And this is the story of Quasimodo, which is a hunchback. Esmeralda is a girl that connects with Quasimodo. Some other characters, Phineas, I believe his name is this love interest. And this is a very interesting story. There's some of the scenes in this book that you read about are heights, and it's pretty incredible when you read about the heights in this book and on how he swings around in the bells, and it's an amazing story. I really love this. I heard that Victor Hugo also wrote this book, Les Miserables, and I would like to read that book because this book was written very well, and I really enjoyed the story. The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Victor Hugo is an amazing book, and I think it's worth your time. And that is number 48. Now, 47 is a book that was written in 1954, and this is a book written by William Golding, and this is The Lord of the Flies, or Lord of the Flies. And what this story is about are a bunch of kids that get stranded on an island, and they form a society, a couple of societies, and they kind of go to war with each other. There's there's this kid that's got these glasses, and these glasses actually can start fires, and they have a lot of fights over these glasses, and there's a lot of things to where they see things to where they think it's something else. Like, well, I don't want to give anything away, but they see this thing and they think there's a beast, but you find out that it's not a beast; it's something different, and it's pretty like crazy when you find out what this beast is. It's not a beast, and this could actually happen in real life. Although I believe this is a work of fiction, but this is an incredible book. A lot of people learn about this book because they have to read it in school, but I didn't read this in school. I read this later, and I really enjoyed this. The Lord of the Flies is a fantastic book, and that is number 47. Okay, number 46 is from 1981, and this is written by Thomas Harris, and this is a book that came before Silence of the Lambs. This is The Red Dragon, or Red Dragon. And this is an amazing story about a serial killer that's on the loose, and there's another serial killer that's locked away, and they use the serial killer, Hannibal Lecter, that's locked up in jail to help catch the Red Dragon. And the Red Dragon has a fantastic story. You kind of feel sorry for him, but at the same time, you don't feel sorry for him because he's a pretty wicked and violent person. But this is a great story. Silence of the Lamb is a fantastic book as well, but this one is great as well. And this is The Red Dragon, and that is number 46. Number 45 is a book from 1954, and this is written by J.R.R. Tolkien, and this is The Two Towers. This is the second book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Also, this is like the third book in the series if you want to include The Hobbit. There's also a book called The Cimmerian that I believe is before this. But the ones I have read, because I haven't read The Cimmerian, I've read The Hobbit, which is an amazing book. I really love that one. And then there's The Fellowship of the Ring, which is an amazing book as well. And this book is like really amazing. This is The Two Towers. This has this character Gollum in it, Smeagol, and he's a fantastic character. And in my opinion, this is like the best part of the adventure. Also, the movie by Peter Jackson is amazing. If you have not seen that movie, I highly recommend it. It is the movie that really got me into the series because I seen Fellowship of the Rings. I didn't think much of it. I was like, wow, this is great production value. But the story like really didn't draw me in. I went to see this in the movie theaters, and the story just drew me in from the beginning of the movie. The action in this movie is incredible. I love this story. It's amazing. Number 45 is The Two Towers. I highly recommend you check that out. Okay, number 44 is from 1818, and this is a classic. This is from Mary Shelley, and this is the story of Frankenstein. And what this story is about is there's a doctor, Dr. Frankenstein, that does experiments, and he brings a dead person back to life, the Frankenstein monster. And this monster actually comes back to life, and then it repulses Dr. Frankenstein, so he wants to get rid of it. And then he just kind of tries to toss it away and get rid of it, but then the creature comes back. Now, this is a story that's told in like an aftermath. It's like in letters or something, I believe, or in journals. And this is a really incredible story. I really enjoyed this. A lot of people rate this as a fantastic book, although I've heard a couple people say this wasn't as good as they thought it would be. There's also the movie, which I think is a great movie as well, from, I forgot what year it was from, but the earlier version of Frankenstein is a great movie. Boris Karloff as Frankenstein does a great performance in that movie, and I really love that movie. But the book is incredible. I really dig it. And I really feel something for the monster, you know. I mean, if you've got you're empathetic of something, I had a lot of empathy for the Frankenstein monster because he really felt unloved by his maker, and that's an awful feeling. So I really enjoyed this. I thought this was a great book. And another thing that's incredible is that this is from 1818, and it reads fantastically. It's not like difficult to read. It's written in a language. She was 18 years old when she wrote this, and she did a fantastic job. That is number 44, and that is Frankenstein. Number 43 is the next book I'm going to talk about, and this is from 1890, written by Oscar Wilde, and this is The Picture of Dorian Gray. And this is a great story idea. This is a great book. I really enjoyed this a lot. This is a story about a person that has a painting done of him. Dorian Gray gets painted, and in this picture, I don't know why it becomes magical, but the more wicked things that he does, the picture actually starts fading away. But in real life, he doesn't fade away. And it's kind of a tripped out thing on how the picture, he hides away, and the picture starts looking really gnarly, and he doesn't look gnarly in real life. And he's doing some pretty bad things. In my opinion, not the most awful person. I mean, I was expecting a more awful character, but this concept is pretty incredible. I love it. The Picture of Dorian Gray is a great book. I highly recommend it. Okay, the next book that I'm going to talk about is number 42, and this is a book that was written in 1996. This is more recent, and this is written by the master of horror, Stephen King. And this is a story about a prison, and in this prison, they have the Green Mile. And the Green Mile is the place to where you walk down the Green Mile to go to the electric chair to be executed. And this jail actually gets this prisoner, this black dude, and this black dude has magical powers. At the same time, there's this vicious killer on the loose. And the black guy, it gets blamed for what this vicious killer does. And this is an incredible story. This is a magical story. The black person actually uses his power for good. And as this movie goes on, the people that have to execute this black dude really don't want to execute him because they find out that he's a very, very good person. And it's an amazing thing. John Coffey is an amazing character. This is a story that was told from like an old guy talks about when he was younger. And it's a very interesting story. There's also a mouse in this story that's very incredible to read about. I love the mouse, and I love this story. The Green Mile is a great book. This is a book that came out in, it's like a serial novel. And it came out in like 6 different little miniature novels. And I read it like as the whole thing in one book. And this is a really incredible story. I really enjoyed it. The Green Mile, that is number 42. Now we're going to talk about the book number 41. And this is going to be the last book that I talk about in this video. And this is a book from 1934. And this is written by Agatha Christie. And this is Murder on the Orient Express. And this is a great murder mystery novel. There's a detective on the case, Ross Perot, I think his name is. And this is amazing on how this works out, man. He goes on the case, and they kind of go into a lot of details of the case. And it's pretty amazing when you find out who the killer is. I really love it when you find out what happened. And it's as you're reading this book, you're really wondering what's going on. Agatha Christie is an amazing author. She did a great job with this story. I haven't seen a movie of this story, but I'm looking forward to watching it one day because this was an incredible story. I really love this. You're going to love all the characters, and this is very interesting. I was completely engrossed the whole time I read this book. I enjoyed this a lot. And that is number 41. And that is all the books I'm going to talk about in this episode. Now, I want to thank everybody for coming by. If you're watching this far and you enjoy this, please do me a favor and hit the like button. Every like is like a gem to me, and it means a lot to me. They're like diamonds, and I love these diamonds. But if you don't hit the like, I still am happy that you're here. If you can, and if you want to, can you please leave a comment and let me know what you think? I'd love to hear from you. But if you don't leave a comment, that's fine as well. Um, Also, if you like the content, please subscribe. I would I would really like to get your prescription. I make videos all the time, and I would really appreciate if you subscribe. But if you don't subscribe, that's all right as well. You don't have to, no pressure. But thank you for watching the video. Tomorrow I'm going to go over 40 to 31, and I've got some great books to talk about in the next video. So come around tomorrow and we'll talk about it. And I hope you're enjoying your new year. This is, day 6 of the year. And I want to thank you for coming by. I'm Peter the Book Lover, and I hope to see you in the next video.